All right, welcome to the B-52 Stratofortress. My name is Captain Colin Whitney. I'm going to give you a brief tour of my airplane. So this is the cockpit. I'm currently sitting in the co-pilot seat. Over there is where the aircraft commander usually sits. Right away, some of the unique features of the B-52. You can take a look here at the 8 throttles for the 8 engines that are on this aircraft. It's a pretty unique feature. Not a lot of airplanes have 8 engines. If you look down here, this is the controls for the crosswind crab system. Another unique feature of our airplane is we can actually manipulate our landing gear in flight to align with the runway. Due to the wingspan of this aircraft, we can't land in a traditional manner like most other aircraft, and we have to align our landing gear with the landing runway while our aircraft is pointing in the direction the wind is blowing from. You can see some of the systems on here look rather antiquated. This aircraft in particular was built in 1960. All B-52s flying today were either built in 1960 or 61. So you can see a lot of these engine dials, flight instruments are the original ones that were on this aircraft since it was developed. We do have some newer components here. You can see our multifunction displays here. For both the pilot and the co-pilot. Those were installed about a decade ago. I'm sitting right now in a ejection seat. There are 6 ejection seats in this aircraft, 4 of which fire upwards, 2 of which fire downwards. For the upwards firing seats, a hatch located above me would open up and the seat would fire out of there. All right, we'll keep moving and I'll show you the rest of the aircraft. So upstairs, the 2 pilots' stations, and located at the aft end of the upstairs compartment is the defense compartment. So the electronic warfare officer and what used to be the gunner occupy those 2 stations. Downstairs is the offensive compartment. So the 2 crew members there would be the radar navigator and the navigator. So all the weapons, be it conventional or nuclear weapons, are configured down in this station. They have some a targeting pod screen here, and they have several multifunction displays to control the weapons here. These 2 ejection seats are rather unique in that they fire downwards, like I mentioned earlier. All right, if we keep moving, I'll show you the outside of the aircraft. All right, welcome to the outside of the B-52 Stratofortress. So the aircraft right here, this is aircraft 600034. All the B-52s that are flying right now have nose art and a nickname. Aircraft 34 nickname is Wise Guy. This is a rather unique airplane in that it was pulled out of the boneyard in Davis-Monthan Air Force Base a few years ago and returned to flying status. Right now it flies for the 23rd Bomb Squadron in Minot, North Dakota. If you follow me around this way, you can see the forward-looking infrared pod here. This allows the aircrew inside to see an infrared image displayed in their screens. You look over here, you can see some of the pitot and static ports used to feed data into the computers for the pilots. Looking at the landing gear over here, you can see the 4 centerline landing gear located on the aircraft. We can move into the wheel well. Some of the unique features of the B-52, I talked a little bit about the crosswind crab. You can see a little bit of the mechanism that would manipulate this in flight. If we move into the wheel well over here, you can see a lot of the environmental control systems, the electric systems, a lot of cables and pulleys for the flight controls. You can all see that inside the wheel wells. You can follow me into the bomb bay. So the bomb bay of the B-52 can be configured in various different ways. Right now it's configured with a conventional rotary launcher. So this system was implemented a few years ago, and it was a huge addition to the B-52. It allows us to carry 8 smart weapons inside the bay. Before, we can only carry smart weapons on the wing pylons. But now we can carry anything from laser guided bombs, GPS guided JDAM, to standoff cruise missiles inside of our bomb bay. It's a huge capability to have. This whole system can actually be removed from the aircraft, and it can be reconfigured for general purpose unguided bombs. We can carry up to 27 500-pound general purpose bombs inside this aircraft. Follow me to the right wing over here. You can see the two flap sections. And you can see one of our engine pods over here. So like I mentioned, there's 8 engines on the B-52. These are TF33 turbofan engines that produce about 17,000 pounds of thrust. We usually start our engines with an external air source. In case of an emergency situation, we can actually use what is called a cartridge start. It's essentially a giant shotgun shell to spin the turbines inside the engine and start them up that way. If you look up here, you can see our sniper targeting pod. So this is a forward-looking infrared pod used to designate targets for our weapons, and it's got a LASIK designator as well to do so. And if you look at the outboard section of the wing here, you can see our external fuel tank, and as well as our tip gear. So the wingspan of the B-52 is 185 feet, and heavy gross weights, when we're carrying a lot of fuel, you actually notice that the wingtips actually droop down quite a bit more than they are right now, and that tip gear would actually be touching the ground. Without that, we could potentially drag a wingtip into the ground. You can follow me around to the aft of the aircraft. So this aircraft specifically, if you take a look at the tail, you can see the MT designation representing Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota. And the very top, you can see the Baron tail flash representing the 23rd Bomb Squadron. Furthest aftmost on the aircraft, you can see what used to be the position for the gunner. This B-52 was equipped with a 20mm cannon for defensive air-to-air capability. That was removed a few decades ago. And also in the aft of the aircraft is where the drag chute is, which is used to slow the aircraft down for any normal landing and to save on our brake life. So that just about sums up a very basic tour of the B-52. Once again, I'm Captain Colin Whitney from the 23rd Bomb Squadron in Minot, North Dakota. Thank you.